Hey everybody, it's TotalGamerJunkie and I welcome you all back to my channel. Now, as you know, the new trailer for The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 4, has come out today. I am both happy and sad about this because we will no longer get any more adventures with Clementine. But yeah, anyways, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down like what I saw and I'm going to let you all know what I saw and what theories that I have in this video. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so this is one of the things that I want to point out immediately. Now, you'll notice that in most, I don't know if any of you noticed, but I noticed this right off the bat. In most of the scenes we see with Clementine, we see her more without her hat than with her hat. Now this is very interesting because if you remember the episode 4 wallpaper, the screen background and that, you know, when you're selecting through the episodes, they each have a background. Episode 4 has Clementine's hat and it's on a rock, and you can see that's the bridge where walkers are, and it's where and that scene is actually showed us Clem and AJ when it was in the E3 reveal trailer. I think it was E3. Yeah, so I do believe that Clementine is going to be losing her hat. I do believe that.
Never mind.
Now, I'm pretty sure I don't need to point this out, but I'll point it out anyway. Instead of saying Telltale Games, it says Skybound Games. Also, if any of you remember, if you chose to save Violet in episode 3, she will sing. Where Lewis, if you save Lewis, he'll play the piano, and right now she's singing that song. Now, will she sing it again in episode 4? I doubt that. I think that was just like a one-off moment thing, you know? But you never know. You never know. She could sing again, like, later in life, but I do not think in this episode she'll be singing. Now, I do believe that this cave right here isn't just a place for hiding, because we see it numerous times in the trailer, and I believe it will hold some significance. I believe it's like, because you know, like Telltale, sometimes they like to just like throw things right in front of your face, and it's like, okay then. Like they even showed in the trailer, in what do you call it, episode 3, when the trailer came out, they showed some of the stuff that was happening, and that was towards the very end of the episode. So I don't believe this is the end of the episode, but I do believe this will be like after they escape from the ship, and we can see that it's Clementine, Ten, and AJ there. Now, speaking of AJ, let's take a look at him.
Darkness.
Now, as we can see, AJ here looks, he's looking pretty angry, and that can be for a few reasons. Now, I want to mention that the blood you see on his face there, that is actually from episode 3, where if you have AJ attack Dorian to save Violet and Lewis's pinky from being cut off, he'll get hit in the face, and that blood there, that from, I don't know if it's a scar, but it's like blood. You know, people know what I mean. So that is not from him shooting Lily, but I do believe that face is him being angry about Clementine not letting him shoot Lily, because I do believe that he's angry that Clementine told him not to shoot. And that's when Lily killed, you know, when Lily killed James. Like, do I really need to say his name? We all know who he killed. If not, then I recommend, well, you do now, and I recommend you go back and play the episode. Now, let's take a look at the next screenshot. Now, as you can all see from this screenshot, we're still in the cave, but this time James is here. So, yeah. So that means that you told AJ to shoot Lily. Now, the angry look on his face could be something else, like, who knows, maybe Ten died, you know? Maybe Ruby or Mitch died, depending on whether you chose to steal the supplies or burn the hay. And I personally, I still believe that if you choose to steal the supplies, then Ruby will die. If you choose to steal the horses, then Mitch will die. I do believe that, and if I'm right, then holy shit, because I was right about a few things in when I was breaking down the episode 2 trailer. Anyways, yeah, this he could have this angry face because, like, another reason is if you let him kill Lily, then when you're looking over the stats, it will say AJ felt proud for killing Lily. It was either proud or powerful. I think it was proud. He felt proud for killing Lily, and that could, in turn, he could start becoming a monster in that. And it'd be like pretty interesting. That'd be pretty interesting to see, like, what you do. Like, are you willing to let James die, like, for AJ not to be a monster? Because if that does happen, then the people who told AJ to shoot Lily, then you've turned him into a monster. But if you tell him not to, then you're killing James as well. So it's like, really, what are you gonna do? And I believe if that really is the case, and that's really going to be one of the toughest choices to make. That's really one of the significant choices. That one of the most effective choices. You know what I mean? Like, most impactful.
Never mind the storm. Never mind the blood red.
So yeah, from what we just saw here, we see a bunch of walkers walking, and if you look in the distance in one of the shots, you'll see Clem and AJ, and if you look closely, Clementine isn't wearing her hat, just like she wasn't wearing it in the caves in the previous parts I showed you. Go back and have a look. She's not wearing her hat. So she could lose it on board the ship, possibly. Now, what do you call it? A few things to go over here is, I believe this is after you get off the boat, because you can see Clementine and AJ down by the boat, and you can see how it's bit destroyed. And so I do believe the walkers are all converging, and we can see here that Minerva, she is alive in episode 4, because I told you, I totally called this. I was like, nah, she's gonna be alive in episode 4, even though Violet shot her with an arrow, even though what do you call it, you punch her and knock her out, she's still alive. She's still gonna be in episode 4, because you can see after Violet shoots her with an arrow, she's still breathing. But when you have Clementine, she just knocked her out. Because I was like, if they were gonna kill her off, then they wouldn't have left her breathing for when Violet shot her with the arrow. Because, like, you know, what would be the point? To have her live through that just to have the explosion kill her? Be ridiculous. Okay, so I do believe her and Clementine are gonna have another fight on their hands, maybe. Not too sure, but that'd be pretty awesome. Let's go, Minerva, round 2, I'll take you down. And the next part I want to talk about is Violet, actually.
Moon, the night will be over.
So right here, this is an interesting shot we have. We have Clementine, and she's holding her hand out to Violet. And it's like, I believe this will be, we will get a chance to go to Violet. You can still come with us. You don't have to do this. It's like, we're still friends. And it'd be pretty interesting, like, because I know, like, because one of the channels that I watch is Baby Zone. You should subscribe to his or her channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. And he shows a bunch of videos of different variations and all that. And he showed one where it's like what happens when you go to rescue Violet after she's been captured. And it shows like, what do you call it? If you go to say regular Violet versus romance Violet and that. And even though it's a little different dialogue change, yeah, it's still basically the same. So it'd be interesting to be like, if you're in a relationship with her and you chose like to abandon her, you assholes. Nah, jokes aside, but you know, yeah, I fucking love Violet. She's my favorite character in the final season. She's like my femme Kenny, you know. Not that I'm saying I want Clementine and Kenny to hook up, you sick fucks. Nobody make a fanfiction of that. I'll kill you if you do. Anyways, basically this could be like, you trying to persuade her to come with you, saying like the Delta is bad and everything. You should come with us. Lily's evil. So yeah, this could be your one and only chance for her to get her to come with you. Now I believe this scene here is where Minerva's gonna be trying to get Violet to come with her. It's like we can walk back to the Delta or something like that, and you as Clementine will be there, and you'll be like, don't listen to her, Violet, she's brainwashed and all that. And so you gotta convince her to come with you, and like, and not go with Minerva. And maybe maybe this is the only scene we get. Maybe it's like, if Violet does go with Minerva, then that's it. You know, she's with Minerva, and they walk up, they run off the Delta, and Clementine goes with AJ in another direction and meets up with the others. And yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the last we see of her and Minerva in the entire episode. Kind of bullshit, but you know, possibly that could possibly happen. I'm not saying I'm 100% sure it will happen, but it could. It could.
Brush away your sorrow.
Now, of those 4 images you saw, we saw Lily was alive in that one, so that means James is dead. And you see Lily, instead of holding the pistol, she gets off James after she kills him. She now has a crossbow. And Lily has the crossbow, and Clementine has her bow, and this may not happen, you know, because it could be trick imagery, but it could. I mean, after all, the boiler does explode and it sends them flying, so they'd have to find a weapon anyway. But come on, I mean, the chances of Clementine finding her bow, I mean, maybe it might not be her bow. It might be one that just looks like it, possibly. Ah, who am I kidding? You know it's Telltale. Of course it's the same bow. Now, another thing, you can actually see AJ standing behind Clementine when she's got the bow out. She could be pointing it at Minerva. She could be pointing it at a bunch of walkers, you know, get ready to shoot them. And in the third thing, when you see the grenade drop, you'll notice Clementine and AJ in the background. And then you see Clementine just like jumping over AJ to cover him from the explosion. And that actually mirrors in episode 1 when you open the trapdoor where the supplies are and a grenade plops out. Clementine slams it down, then jumps over to AJ and covers his body with her own, shielding him from the blast. So yeah, if you look back at that and compare it with this, it does mirror it in like a way, you know what I mean?
Brush away your tears.
Alright, so let's go look over the 4 images we just saw. Now, in the first one, we see Ten and AJ. They're in the cave, and they're looking around. So there's nothing really important to look around in there. The second image is of Clementine. She's kind of looking sad. You can see there are kind of lights flashing in the background. I think this is where she's on the ship, and she's looking, what do you call it? She's looking sad. I don't know why. Maybe maybe we find, if we chose to, maybe she's found someone like a Sim, Omar, Lewis, Ruby, Mitch. Maybe she's found one of them dead and she's sad about it, you know? Because I don't think it would be Violet is dead. I think she'll make it off the ship regardless of if you chose to help her or not in episode 2. Now the third and fourth images, these ones are really, really interesting. Now we see in the third image, it's in the cave, you can tell by the background, and James drops his walker mask. Now why the hell does he do this? Okay, this thing is basically like, he doesn't leave anywhere without it, you know, like he has you in episode 3, he has you distract the walkers while he gets his mask. You can distract them, or you can kill him, or you can kill a few, or you can kill one, or you can kill none, you know, like basically like that. He even has Clementine wear the mask to walk into the barn and ring the wind chimes to get the walker's attention, because she wanted him to see through his eyes what the walkers are like to him and that. So why would he throw it away? It doesn't make any sense unless he's given up, you know, like walkers are just as bad as people. Maybe he's like, maybe he's turning back into the evil person he used to be. I doubt it, but there's got to be some significance to him tossing it away. Now that image after that is quite interesting as well, as we see Clementine kill a walker. Now looking back, when I was looking over the trailer, I thought she hits it with what do you call it? I thought she hits the walker with a log, but it's not a log, it's an axe. And who do we see in this trailer have an axe? Minerva. If you look back, I didn't freeze frame it, but if you look back, we can see Minerva walking slowly, and it's like dark, and we see her have her axe. And this is the axe she had in episode 3 when she was chopping the firewood. We didn't see much of it after that, but yeah, we now see Clementine using that axe, and it's kind of symbolic to what do you call it? When you start up episode when you import a data and you start at episode 1, when Clementine's like, I'll protect AJ with my life just like Lee did for me, you can see she's holding AJ's hand and she's got the axe. So maybe this image here from episode 1 could be foreshadowing something. You know what I mean? Could be foreshadowing what's going to happen in episode 4, because if that does, my god, what the hell of a foreshadowing. They shot it right in our faces, but we didn't see it coming. So what happens to Minerva? Does she lose the axe? Doubt it. Does a walker kill her and she drops the axe? Possibly. Does Clementine kill her? Definitely. No, I'm kidding, of course, but it could be possible. I mean, we fought Minerva. You fight Minerva once before when you're trying to help the others escape. If you chose to save Lewis instead of Violet, you'll get like 2 punches in her and just knock her out. Yeah, and she also tries to kill you with the knife. And if you notice back in the cave when AJ was looking angry, you can see Clementine still has that scar mark from when Minerva stabbed her. So yeah, I do believe that Minerva's going to play a small part in this role, and Clementine will have to fight her. Maybe you can choose to kill her or not. I don't know. Yeah, but anyways, let's move on now. Alright, so what we just saw there was Clementine. You can see she has the bow and she shoots a guy in the head. Now you'll notice she's with AJ and that they're on a wooden floor, as AJ called it in episode 3, like a wooden pathway, whatever he said. But it's the deck of the ship, so I do believe they're still at the pier and they're still escaping off the boat, okay? Now in the next image you'll notice that there is Doreen and another lady who Ten stole the gun off when she was threatening Lily. This is before you attack her, and it's towards the end of the game. Now, you'll notice that Doreen has... I mean, not Doreen. What am I saying Doreen for? Whatever her name is, the lady whose name I forget, she, interestingly enough, also has an axe. So maybe the axe that Clementine killed that walker with doesn't come from Minerva, but it comes from her. Now, that would make more sense because she is like one of the people of Delta, and it'd make more sense for Clementine to kill her than Minerva. Or maybe Minerva got the axe of her, then Clementine gets it from Minerva, whether she kills her or not, or Minerva's overrun. Just like passing the axe back and forth like a torch. Anyways, or like a beach ball, like in episode 3, you see what I did there? Yeah, but anyways, I do believe that, I do believe that now, like, after seeing it, like, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, no, she's gonna get the axe from Minerva, but it's more likely she's gonna get the axe from this other lady, and I want to apologize for saying she looked like Doreen, because, of the skin color. It wasn't a race thing, but, like, I was like, is it her? And I was like, nah, it's not her. She's also the lady who had the rifle, where if you have AJ shoot Lily, she'll be like, you're all fucking dead, and then the boiler explodes. Yeah, and she's also with that other woman, where actually in one of my previous videos, towards the end, it glitched, and you'll see when Clementine, at the very end, when the explosion happens and Clementine hits the back, hits a wall of the ship, and then it cuts to black, you'll see the woman, she's like standing on her feet and her arms are stretched out. It's like in one of my walkthroughs. If you have a look at it, it's a funny glitch. Yeah. Anyways, and we also see like kind of like a bird's eye view of all the walkers, and they're all drawn to the explosion, which reminds me of season 2 episode 3 of The Walking Dead with Hal's Warehouse, where they had the used a microphone to lure all the walkers there. So yeah, I think that's a nod to that. And lastly, we can see Clementine running with AJ, and you can see the boat fully, I believe this is the boat here, it just fully explodes, where there's little mini explosions, but I do believe it properly explodes right here at this point. Now, one of the last things that you'll notice is, well, it's not really the last one. It happened before this boat explosion scene, but I'm saying them out of order. Don't know why. You'll see that AJ is hugging Lewis, and Clementine is hugging Lewis as well. That's like one big hug. Like, I do believe this, because you'll notice, you'll remember, when I went over the theory video when episode 3 trailer came out, there was an option to hug Lewis, and I thought that was like Clementine sacrificing herself, but no. If you choose to hang out with Lewis in episode 2, and you save him in episode 2, you have the option to hug him. Just like if you do the same with Violet, you save her in episode 2, you get the option to hug her in episode 2. But it's also like, you don't have to be like, if you hang out with Violet and then you save Lewis and vice versa, what do you call it? Then that will happen as well. You still get the hug option. So maybe this could be like the but I like to think of it as like everyone's got off the ship and they're reunited, and that's why they're hugging. And it's like maybe maybe that's the Clementine that's with Lewis and she's hugging him, you know? So maybe if you're with Violet, then that scene right there is them all hugging instead of Lewis. You know, it could be. You know what I'm saying? Because Violet likes hugs. She hugs Clementine in episode 3 if you dance with her. She's hugged Minerva in episode 3 when you meet up with her again if you saved her in episode 2. She'll even hug Clem if you choose to hug her first in episode 3. So yeah, it was kind of like a huggy episode moments for Violet. Anyway, let's move on. Alright, so let's just go over what we just saw there. Now, the first shot, we saw that the walkers have made their way inside the cave, okay? So we're gonna have to fight them inside the cave. It's gonna be hectic. There's gonna be like, because the cave is obviously gonna be like closed. We're gonna have to try and fight. Clementine's probably gonna have to hold them off while everyone tries to find their way out of the cave. It's gonna be hectic, my god, and I'm really like not looking forward to seeing that, because the cave, if any of you have ever seen the movie Descent, which I loved, the monsters didn't scare me, but it was the cave did, because it was all dark and it was like narrow spots and all that, just kind of freaked me out. The next part you'll also notice in this next shot is Clementine, and she's holding the door back, okay, and she's got it back pressed up against it. Now I do believe that this is the barn. It's just the way the door is, and then you can see the walkers trying to get in. I do believe they're holed up at the barn and they're trying to push their way back in, you know. Well, the walkers are trying to push their way in. New walkers, the old walkers that James sent are obviously dead, but new walkers are trying to get in. Clementine's holding the door back, trying to stop them from coming in. Now the third image, that's what's pretty interesting right here, and I do have a theory for it. Some of you may not believe me, some of you may call me an asshole for saying it or bullshit, but I want to go over this, okay? I do believe that James will try to kill Clementine, okay? Now before you start sending the hate train to my way, just let me explain first. Now we see that he's in the cave, okay? So AJ's killed Lily, just in case you don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody who's played the game knows this is common knowledge, but just in case you don't, okay. Now, James makes a point in saying that if AJ kills again, he'll end up becoming a monster, or end up like James's boyfriend, Charlie, I think it was called, when he kept killing in that. And he keeps mentioning that killing at a young, he keeps saying, well, he doesn't keep saying, but one of the things that stands out for me what he says is killing at a young age, it breaks something inside you. And it's kind of true if you look at it, Clem's case. If you have her kill Lee, or if she shoots a stranger, or if she like just shoots them both, you know, you can tell like she's kind of changed. And at 11, she's like sewing up her own arm, she's killing walkers. You can even have her watch Kenny beat carved to death, and you can see like it's really a big change from season 1 to season 2 in her, like what type of person she is and what type of person she's becoming, you can make her an asshole in the entire game, like I did. But like, you know, I stuck with Kenny most of my way, like 90%. I cut off Sarita's arm, then I axed Sarita in the head, and I told Kenny that as Clementine, that I had to shoot Liam for him to stop being an asshole. But after that, I was with him all the way. Although I guess it was an asshole move that I chose to stay with him rather than go into Wellington, because as we know, fucking the new Frontier game, worst one, they have him killed off. And like, I just want to stress this out. For me, it's not. I'm angry that Kenny was killed off, but I'm more angry with how Jane was killed off. Okay, I'll get back on topic real quick, but I just want to say this. Jane is one of those people who takes extra precautions. She's more precautionary than everyone else. She believes being off on her own is better. And she even, says this to Clementine, you don't need them. And the fact that that you have her, that Telltale has her killed off because she became pregnant, that is so stupid. She would never allow herself to become pregnant. My God. I mean, that's what really pisses me off in the New Frontier. It's one of the many things that pisses me off. Okay, now, moving on. No, I'm sorry, not moving on. What the hell am I doing? I still have to go through all this. And still go through the stuff with James before I move on. Anyway, I do believe that that James will see Clementine as a threat to AJ, not as in like going to harm him, but as in going to bring him down a road, like, and make him a bad person. I guess it'd be a dick move if you go to James saying that you won't let AJ you promise to not let AJ become like that, and then you tell him to shoot. I guess that would be like an asshole thing to do anyway. And but yeah, I do believe that James, he cuts his hand, and because walkers can smell blood. I don't know if any of you know that, but they can smell blood. What do you call it? I think Jane mentions this in season 2, but I kind of knew that already. It's like, I first found out about this in season 2 of The Walking Dead, when Rick and Shane are fighting, and Shane's cut his arm, and he's wiped it on the bus, so he's trapped in, and you see a walker, it's just licking the blood there, and then he's using that to kill the walkers one by one until he loses the knife. Yeah, so really, what do you call it? So really, yeah, I do believe he's gonna let his arm be cut, and then the walkers are gonna be coming, and like, nobody knows he's cut his arm, and he's just luring them all there because he wants to take AJ away from Clementine. Another possibility is that he could have cut his hand, and while everyone's hiding, he's using like his open wound to lure the walkers, the ones that can see him. He's luring them towards him, and the ones that can't see him, he's using his open wound to lure them with the smell. Now, another reason is, I guess there is none. I guess I'm all out. Okay, then, yeah, don't know much, don't have any more ideas about that, but let me know what you all think. Okay, let's move on to the next screenshot. Now, we see, in that screenshot right there, we see that Clementine is hanging on the AJ, and he's like, and she's trying to like pull him up, and you can see there are a bunch of walkers down there, and I believe they are on the roof of the barn. Okay, the roof of the barn. I am 100% sure of this because you can see by the wooden stuff. Okay, so yeah, I'm the barn and the cave, those two places are gonna be like mainly where we're gonna be going to evade all the walkers and that. So I believe this entire episode is just gonna be trying to escape the walkers to get out of there, you know. And finally, we got the last one right here, and it's of Minerva, and she has a rifle, and you see her screaming. Her face is just angry. She doesn't have the axe, she has a rifle. What could she be doing with that? I do believe that she is trying to kill Clementine. I believe this is like, if you convince Violet to go with you in that one where you chose to betray her or something like that. Anyways, when you're all running away, I do believe that she's not fighting walkers. I do believe she's not shooting walkers. I do believe she's trying to shoot Clementine. Because after you break out of your cell on the ship and you go to free and you go to free Omar and the sim, she comes up with you with a knife and it's like, you're the fucking problem here. So I do believe that she blames Clementine for what's happening on the ship, and she also says like she also blames Clementine for what do you call it, for convincing everyone at the school to fight. She even tells Clementine, we'll be back in 2 weeks, do not fight us. And it's like yeah, and so then that's like when the that's why we get the time, that's why we get the I mean, sorry, not time jump, that's in episode 2. That's like, if you kind of think about it, it says in episode 2 a few weeks, so maybe that's 2 weeks, and Lily and a group like stay at this area for a while, then come back every 2 weeks, and that, not too sure why. Maybe it's just to gather firewood and hunt animals, because you know, it's like they obviously can't hunt in the same place that they normally do if they're in a fight with another community. Now, one of the things interesting here is the fact that what do you call it? I don't know if any of you noticed in the trailer, but if you listen carefully, you can hear a ticking noise. Okay. Now to me this symbolizes that getting tongue tied. For me, it means that Clementine's journey is coming to an end, and you hear the clock ticking, and her time is up. Does it mean her time is up and she's going to die? Does it mean her time is up and we're never gonna see her again, but she does get a happy ending? I don't know, but we will have to find out on the 26th of March, won't we? And the 26th of March, sadly, is my mother's birthday. So I don't think I'll be able to upload any episodes. Well, hopefully, episode 4, my god, comes out early. Okay, I really want it to come out early, like 8 or 9 a.m. because I remember I was up I remember when episode 3 was coming out, it didn't come out to 3:30, and I pulled an all-nighter. I was like, come on, episode 3, come on. But yeah, we just got we got 5 more days to go. I'm in Australia, so it's 5 more days, but it might be like it comes out the 27th for me. I'm not too sure. Anyways, let's look at some more screenshots. Alright, so here we go. The last 3 screenshots, well, they're not really screenshots, but you know what I mean. But before I do mention that, I want to mention this real quick. Since this entire video ended, we only saw Clementine wear her hat once. Okay, once. And that was when she was in that, I assume it was the ship, and the lights were flashing. You can see her hat there. Now, maybe they could have digitally edited out her hat, because if you go, you look at the trailer for season 2, episode 3 of The Walking Dead. It's when Kenny, it's towards the end of the trailer. It's in the game. It's when Kenny shoots Carver in both his knees, and then picks up the crowbar, and he's like, "Go on, you don't need to see this." You can play the gameplay trailer to the actual. You can play the episode to the actual trailer. You'll notice that Kenny still has his eye. See, so Telltale actually edited that in, so they used a model really of him with both his eyes. So basically, they could be doing the same for this. Clem could have her hat on the entire time, but they edited it out. That's because game trailers and that can do that as well. You never know. Like, bunch of trailers, they edit stuff out of their movies, or they put stuff in that isn't in the final cut. But yeah, but let's get talking about what we just saw. So yeah, sorry about that. Just gonna message you. I really shouldn't pay attention to my phone when doing this anyway. We're at towards the end of the trailer here, and you can see that AJ, he is stabbing a walker. He doesn't look angry in that to me, but he looks more like scared, and you can tell that it is Oso the barn. In the second part, you can see that you can see that Clementine is running. She's running, it's like over a wooden bridge or something, and the fact that, and she's basically had to jump across. Now, where could this be in the game? I believe it might be in, not in the beginning, but in the middle or towards the end. And in the final scene, we see AJ and his hands reaching down, and you can see Clementine reaching her hand up. Now, one of the things I do personally, what I believe here is cause I used to believe that Clementine might die in the final season. Then I was like, no, she's totally gonna live. But I do believe, depending on your choices, Clementine or AJ can either live happily together or one of them can die off. Basically, like you got the barn and the cave, and they keep showing these places. What I'm thinking is maybe one of these places you choose to hide. So if you choose to go to the barn, right, then Clementine will die. Then AJ will die. You choose to hide in the cave, then Clementine will die. Clementine will die if you choose to hide in the cave. AJ will die if you choose to hide in the barn. Or it could be reversed. Clementine could die instead of AJ at the barn and at the cave. Oh, I'm getting mixed up. Alright, let's just say this. Because they keep covering the cave and the barn over and over again in the trailer, so it's got to have some significance, am I right? We see AJ dangling out of the barn, Clementine's reaching down, she's holding onto him. Then we saw towards that last shot in the trailer, we see Clementine reaching her hand up, and she's trying to grab onto AJ. So that could be at the cave area. So Clementine could die at the cave area, and AJ could die in the barn area. Or AJ could die in the cave area, and Clem could die in the barn area, depending on what choices you do. Someone's gonna die somewhere. I don't know who, but we do know that someone is dying in this episode. I don't know who. I just hope it's not Violet and AJ. Well, honestly, I don't really care for AJ as much as most people would. I'd be like, I care about Clementine's her story. And it's like, if it's between her and Clem, like, I want Clementine to live. My God. It's like, and I know some of you may call me an asshole, but like, I was 100% convinced that AJ was Carver's kid. Like, if you look at the color of his skin in episode 4, and then you go to episode 5, the colors changed. So I do think originally he was meant to be Carver's kid, but then they changed the color scheme to make him look like to make him Alvin's kid. And so anyways, it comes out in the 26th. Like, I don't know if comes out the 26th in Australia. Maybe it's the 27th, but I think it'll come out the 26th, but not till the afternoon. Anyways, that's everything I got in the theory video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments below. This is TotalGamerJunkie signing off.
Brush